Thanks for staying with the NCN 6 o'clock news. The Guyana Power and Light CEO Bart Dindial says contamination to the fuel supplies for generation of power on the Essequibo coast is preventing the transmitting of electricity to residents there. Residents of the Cinderella County have been without the supply of electricity for more than 12 hours, and some sections of the Essequibo coast are experiencing telecommunication difficulties as a result. While he apologizes for the inconvenience, Dindial says the situation has been rectified through another shipment of fuel and that services will be affected by 19 hours today. The opening of the January criminal session of the Demerara Assizes has been held today at the Victoria Law Court, and over 90 cases are up for trial. Justice Winston Patterson inspected the Guard of Honor, and he is one of 2 judges slated to preside over the session. Adeli Rampasad is NCN's court reporter.
The criminal assizes have been opened with a ceremonial parade by the Guard of Honor, with Justice Winston Patterson taking the salute. Some 93 cases are going to be tried, of which Justices Brassington and Winston Reynolds will be presiding over the trials. Among some of these trials are 13 cases for murder, 7 for manslaughter, 5 for burglary, 7 for rape, and 6 for carnal knowledge. Justices Roxanne George, William Ramlal, Rishi Prasad, Acting Chief Justice Ian Chang are among some of the judges who will be presiding in Essequibo Berbice Assizes, the bail court and the full court. This session is expected to be completed by April 6, 2009. However, NCN has learned that criminal cases were tried between January and March 2008, while chamber cases like injunctions and summons were tried in the period April and June of the same year. During July and September, commercial cases were tried, and other criminal cases between October and December. According to a source, all the cases were tried for the last assizes, and sessions for this assize will start on Tuesday, January 20. Reporting for the NCN 6 o'clock news, Adeli Ramprasad.
Agriculture Minister Robert Prasad has assured residents of Maikoni that necessary action is being taken to lessen losses and return communities to some degree of normalcy. Despite shortage of resources, he notes that assessments are being made to see how best short and long-term solutions can be advanced. Meanwhile, the National Drainage and Irrigation Authority has been given the mandate to execute works to avert overtopping in the Mahaika Creek. This will involve raising the river embankment at Supply Mahaika. Delta's sales manager Junior Horatio says the airline has seen a tremendous increase in passenger travel during the last quarter of 2008. He believes that the entity has impacted the local aviation industry with flexibility and greater travel options. More on this report.
Delta sales manager Junior Horatio says passengers now have more options with the advent of several airline carriers over the past year. He believes that this has had a positive impact on local businesses, opening greater opportunities for investment and trade. During the Christmas season, the entity offered a round trip to New York for around US $500, with one-way travel reaching US $355. According to the Delta sales manager, this resulted in tremendous inbound passenger traffic for the Christmas season. However, the air service industry is not without its issues. He acknowledges since Delta's arrival on the local scene, there has been baggage problems, which the company is still working to resolve. Mr. Horatio is of the opinion that reduced fuel prices could result in lower airfares and boost air travel this year. He has assured that once prices remain stable, his company will provide competitive fares to the traveling public. Delta Airlines began operations in Guyana last June.
Students from the St. Andrews Primary School in Georgetown were forced to evacuate the building after Africanized bees from a nearby tree attacked today. No one was seriously injured in the attack. Details in this Onika Jones report.
Reports say that around 12:45 hours today, the compound was infested with bees that occupied a nest on the lower limb of a tree in front of the school. One teacher told this newscast that they were advised by an agriculture officer who visited the scene to send the students home for safety. When NCN contacted the Agriculture Ministry, the officer indicated that the situation was under control. He notes that the problem stems from the infestation of Africanized bees, noting that this is the first report received from that location. The deputy headmistress indicated that no student was attacked during that time and school will be open tomorrow. Meanwhile, sources from the school environs say the bees might have been disturbed. Taxi drivers in the area say they have noticed the bees for some time now, but they rarely attack. In the meantime, the school is dispelling rumors that students were sent home because the building was shaken. The deputy headmistress says there is no evidence to support that accusation. Onika Jones, the 6 o'clock news.
The Ministry of Amerindian Affairs today opened a 3-day workshop for community development officers which focuses on HIV and AIDS in Amerindian communities. Jessel Archibald was there and filed this report.
Amerindian community development officers and facilitators from various administrative regions have commenced a 3-day HIV/AIDS awareness workshop. Liaison Officer at the Ministry of Amerindian Affairs, Mr. Norman Whitaker, says this initiative aims to educate Amerindian communities about HIV/AIDS and steps which can be taken to prevent transmission.
Because we have Amerindian titled villages in all 10 regions. So what we have here is a number of persons whom we call peer educators or facilitators. They were part of the first 6 months program, the HIV/AIDS program last year, and 6 of them were selected. We have CDOs from the Ministry of Amerindian Affairs. These are community development officers representing a number of regions.
Mr. Whitaker says data is still being assessed to determine the magnitude of this epidemic in Amerindian communities.
In fact, we don't have data that will allow us to make that kind of pronouncement. X or Y community is more exposed or have higher incidence of HIV. We are targeting all the villages, okay? And in fact, with this workshop here, we are addressing not only the issue of HIV/AIDS, but also other social issues.
He notes that the workshop will provide feedback from various communities so that more reliable data and greater analysis can be achieved. The workshop, which is the first of its kind for the ministry, will conclude on Thursday. For the NCN 6 o'clock news, I am Jessel Archibald.